Hello, wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. This is BVI Channel 1 live broadcast, Biafra Discuss. Coming to you every Friday evening. Today, we are very sorry we had serious complications and technical issues, but we've been able to resolve it to a reasonable extent, and we have to carry on with this very task. Today, we are talking about why Igbo governors are afraid of Biafra. And today, joining me on this live interactive section, a special guest, a Biafran, and a comrade, Zulu of Fail, who is already waiting. They have been with us for the past 1 hour waiting for this technical default to be sorted out. And you know our standard procedure on this program. We expect you when you call, you tune down the volume of your listening device, whether TV or gadgets, phone, tablet, and the rest of it. Tune it down, and we'll be able to discuss and talk with you and the rest of the world and humanity. We hear you. We are talking about why are Igbo governors afraid of Biafra. If you have not watched the video I published just this evening before this program about the directive given by Ondo state government to schools in the state to be reciting the Oduduwa anthem. In case you've not seen that video, please watch after this live broadcast and share it. And that is what instigated today's program. Why is it that Igbo governors are afraid to associate or even mention Biafra with their mouth? Much more including it in their daily affairs. And this month, May, is a special month for the Biafran people, a month they remember their fallen heroes. What are the government of the South is doing with that respect? The Oduduwas, we had the issue of June 12th, Osa Abiola, till today. It has become a national day. They call it, I don't know, Democracy Day. And they observe it. What is stopping the Igbo governors from honoring men, women, and children that were massacred, those who stood that we might live? There might not be any Igbo land today if they did not fight. But what are they doing to immortalize them, to honor them, even those that are still alive? So these are part of the issue we are talking about. And I have with me a very wonderful, hardcore Biafran from the core, Comrade Zulu of Elu. He will be highlighting more on his presentation at the Senate Committee on the public hearing on the Senate Committee regarding the 1999 Constitutional Review. He will be here. He's already here with us. And I will discuss with him a brief and then bring you guys to call the lifeline when we open it. The lifeline to call is right there on the top corner of this screen, +23481045553. That's the number to call to be part of this program. We'll be having Zulu, Comrade Zulu, joining us now. We'll be bringing him on. I bet you guys are sharing this program because the rest of humanity, especially Biafran people, particularly should be part of this program because this is an opportunity for you to lend your voice and your voice be heard. All right, now let's bring on our brother and comrade, Zulu Ofelos. You are welcome to this Biafra discourse tonight.
Thank you very much.
Okay, just very quickly, the topic we are looking into today and looking at what Nigeria is today. What is your assessment with respect to the political class, beginning with the Igbo governors, the senators, the state assembly members, and the rest of the political class in Igbo land? Why is it that they are so afraid to associate or to mention even the word Biafra or even include it in their activities?
All right. Thank you very much, Moses. I think it's almost like a general knowledge that immediately after the peasants actually became scared to talk about Biafra because of the issue of stigmatization by the Nigerian leadership. First of all, most of us might be aware of the fact that most people from the south, especially places like River State, where we have a good number of those people who are Igbos. You know, the Biafran war started as a Biafran struggle, from the Biafran nation. Eventually, with time, some of the areas in the southern Nigeria that were captured or taken over by the Nigerian forces, they fell under the Nigerian forces, and those people were forced to renounce Biafra. Some of those who were arrested were forced to renounce Biafra and decided they were no longer Biafrans. And most of them from River State were actually used to fight against the Igbos who are in the mainland Biafra. And some of them actually continued living there. I think after the war was won and lost, even though we were told that there was no victor, no vanquished, we knew that we were actually defeated more of, because what happened after the war showed us clearly that we were defeated. Some of those who owned properties in places like River State were taken over, and they were called abandoned property. You don't take over the property of somebody who didn't lose it. And most Rivers people felt that for them to benefit from the country called Nigeria, for the new Nigeria, they had to renounce Biafra. And so, even among the Igbos, some of those who came in later days also had to do the same. From this current republic, when Barrister Chief Raf Wazirike started leading the first Biafran national group as SOP, it has the Nigerian government also came after the Biafrans and decided that there was no way they could allow Biafrans to have
Sorry, I think we're losing you.
Some years have been the agitation trying to be in the good books of the Nigerian national government. That person just have to renounce Biafra. You just have to pretend that you don't identify with the country. And coupled with the fact that most of those who are in leadership of states within Biafra land also tend to lack understanding of the fundamentals of what Biafra actually is. Some of them will tell you, sometimes when you talk about Biafra, somebody will say, hey, don't talk about Biafra, you want to fight for. For many, Biafra struggle simply means war. Biafra is not an army. Even some Biafrans themselves mistake Biafra for an army. So whenever they talk about Biafra, they begin to begins to demonstrate some kind of war guides to show how strong Biafra is going to be. Biafra is going to have a strong army. But Biafra itself is not an army. Biafra is not about war. Biafra is about self-determination of a people, of an indigenous people who existed before the coming of the colonial masters to establish the country called Nigeria. So the mindset, the thinking, and of course, because Biafrans are also being suppressed. Because Biafrans, when they demonstrate, when they protest, when they try to speak out, they are suppressed. Most of the youths in Biafra land also decide to continue to confront the Nigerian government, continue to fight, continue to speak out. So, the only someone who has the power to militarily, those groups having consistent demonstrations in our streets, carrying the Biafran flag and so on and so forth, and the police and army going after them. How else are going to do? The old people will not be able to do this. It's only the youths with a lot of energy. So most people are scared. Most people are afraid. Governors are afraid, and they lack understanding of what Biafra is all about. unfortunately, the Yorubas who did not fight any war against the Bank, who in fact who actually participated in fighting against Biafra and ending the Biafra of the Republic of 1967 to 1970, also believe in self-determination. In fact, they have even produced documents, and you are aware of the fact that Yorubas are speaking out strongly on issues of self-determination in establishing the Oduduwa state. Well, you also know that in the north, in the middle belt are becoming together very strongly as a force, as a political force for the establishment of the middle belt state. And of course, we know also that there is no state in Nigeria called Arewa. Arewa is also an indigenous entity, establishment of self-governance for the Arewa. And currently, the Arewa group has also established a self-determination political entity under the law called Sharia.
Sharia law.
It's a law of an indigenous Islam word of life. You may be aware of the fact that most Islamic entities, territories in the north, do not have anything about tradition except Islam. In fact, as at the time of the Sokoto Jihad under Uthman Dan Fodio, most of the traditions of the northern Nigeria were completely exterminated. Not like in the south where we have tradition and we have Christianity or Islam. They completely exterminated their tradition. It doesn't apply in all parts of the north. Most parts of the middle belts, you have tradition. But some of the areas where you have core Islamic states, what they have is
that's the Sharia. That's the Sharia states.
So Sharia. Those are Sharia states. Most of those states like Kano, Sokoto, Zamfara,
Castilla.
As a statement. And you know that the Sharia, if it has a court, it has the Sharia court itself is the equivalent of the High Court of states in Nigeria, and has the Sharia appeal court, which is equivalent to the appeal court itself. The only thing they don't have here is only the Supreme Court. That tells you that they have established a structure for self-determination outside the common laws of Nigeria. So the only place we are still struggling to have our own indigenous laws accepted, our own indigenous system of self-governance accepted, is only in Biafra. Even though, and I said the only place because even though in the west, in the southwest or Yoruba territory, they have not yet constitutionalized their customary law, the customary governance in Yoruba. But you can see the roles being played by the governors in the southwest in support of those who agitate for self-determination. Unlike what you have in the southeast and south of Nigeria, which is the territory called Biafra. So, and I think it has a lot to do with leadership mentality. For me, most of those we have in the southeast and south in Biafra land as leaders, political leaders, are actually politicians, just politicians. People who are merely interested in power. People who are merely interested in power, not in leadership. And the fear is that if a new government is established, and we are not the leaders of that new government, and the new government and a new country, and we are not the leaders of that new country, we will lose power. And we wouldn't be the ones who will be in leadership. But that shouldn't be what it is. And whenever you mention Biafra, even anybody who is not part of Biafra and say, my friend, it seems you're among those who want to fight against this country. You want to cause war. And no governor wants to be told that kind of thing. except the very few of them. So you discover that those few, like Abaribe, who have been able to boldly stand up to speak out, who have a good understanding of the concept of Biafran self-determination. And when they speak out that way, you find out that there is a very high element of acceptability by the masses, because they represent the opinion of the majority of the Biafran.
Okay, that's a very wonderful one. That's a very wonderful answer to that question. And in summary, he has already said it all. Why these governors are afraid to identify themselves as Biafrans, or even mention Biafra, or participate in any way, just like their counterparts from the West are doing. And you heard it from comrades.
Yes.
Because they want to benefit from the impunity of the Nigerian system. So they want to denounce Biafra,
yes,
so that they will pose as loyalists to the one Nigeria that is not working. So that's why you see them unleash mayhem, or allow mayhem to befall our people in our homeland. The Yorubas are doing the Oduduwa agitation. Nobody is killed, nobody is harassed, nobody is arrested.
Not at all.
Even their governors, when they have meeting, they sing Oduduwa song. In their meeting.
Exactly.
In their meeting, they sing Oduduwa song. You can imagine Southeastern
Yes,
governors singing Biafran national anthem in their Southeast Governors Forum meeting. You can imagine that. That is to show you the level of the behavior. In fact, that is, we just said it from the beginning, that not the people, people that are conquered in war. Now they are now
exactly.
hiding on the, but it is not an excuse. It is not an excuse, because I believe when you went to that public hearing on Wednesday, and you presented
Yes.
yourself as a Biafran from the group Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria, Mobbing. What
Yes.
is the countenance in the atmosphere? How did the atmosphere receive that introduction? Because you know, say when you mention Biafra, the thing go shake the hall. Some of them go even look for where to hide.
Maybe later on I will talk about the issue of IPOB, because you know that the original formation of IPOB is in the structure we are moving currently. So when I was actually introduced as representing IPOB, and many thought that the IPOB being spoken about was IPOB led by Africa. Now, just like you said, maybe people would have expected somebody with big muscles without a shirt, and then carrying the Biafran flag, walking in when they mentioned that somebody is coming to speak about Biafra. But of course, they saw somebody that was coming to speak grammar. So imagine them grammar.
A professional that is even more learned than them. We don't need to start reading out CV here. But the countenance.
But particularly, there was acceptability in the hall. Those who were there, I believe, are those who believe that Nigeria can still be negotiated. Because there are those Biafrans who are tired of the system in Nigeria, and they are saying, we don't want to negotiate anymore. They weren't in that hall. But those who came to that place were those who believe that there is still hope for Nigeria through the review of the constitution. So when I came out to speak, of course there was acceptability. People felt, Biafra, that's a wonderful thing. And they were even watching out to see whether the DSS men or the senators would say, go and say now, you are not supposed to speak. But they did not. Because they knew that we are Biafra and we are still part of Nigeria. Look, Biafra was defeated in the war between 1967 and 1970. But Biafra was not wiped out. Defeat does not mean end of existence. When you defeat the people, do the people still exist? The states called Biafra came to an end. We lost our sovereignty. We lost our power to have our own country. But we didn't cease to exist. That is what most people fail to understand. Nigerian governments fail to understand this. They put Biafrans themselves to understand this. Biafra is in existence. For you to even say that we fought a war means you accept that we are in existence. Because it's who fought the war?
Yeah.
So, did you kill all of them? No, you did not. So those who survived, what are they? Are they not Biafrans?
They are still Biafrans.
What you fought was to stop them. If that's Biafrans, what you fought was to stop them from having their own independent state. You defeated the sovereignty, you didn't defeat them. So as long as there is one person among those Biafrans still in existence, Biafra is in existence. Even if we stop the agitation, it doesn't mean that Biafra will cease. So that's what we call ourselves, Biafrans in Nigeria. We are Biafrans who are still in Nigeria. We have not got sovereignty yet. We haven't got our own country, but we are in existence. So we are Biafrans. So if you want to hear from the Duduwa people in their Yoruba land, they're going to present memo, and you want to hear from the middle belt class and they're in the middle belt of Nigeria and they're going to present memo, and you want to hear from the Arewa and they're in the north and they're going to present memo, why won't you hear from the Biafrans? You want this to reign in this country. Look at the situation we have in Nigeria, and we told them then. Look at the situation we have in Nigeria today. The economy has collapsed. Nigeria borrows money every month, not even every year, every month, to sustain the country, and heavily also. We don't have an economy. The economy has collapsed. It's totally collapsed. We are only managing to see whether we can stay alone. Even those who are giving us loan are even tired of giving loan because they believe the woman may not even be able to pay. There are a few roads being repaired currently, like in Port Harcourt. Move along that Port Harcourt. You will see that the construction work on that road and the Enugu Onitsha road, you see that the construction work on that road is being done with loan taken from Islamic Bank. And loans taken from Islamic Bank have consequences. The consequences are that if you fail to, that whomever, that the bank that gave that loan or the giver of that loan is a co-owner of that very project. It means that all the roads in the southeast currently being constructed are co-owned by the Islamic Bank. And you know we cannot pay. Because at the rate at which we are borrowing, the rate at which we are taking money, is nowhere commensurate to the rate at which we are making money. Look at the crisis currently going on. It's no longer Biafrans alone that are fighting for self-determination. The whole Nigerians are fighting for self-determination. Even Fulani, who are in charge, are fighting for self-determination. That's the reason why when they come to our territory, they want to also establish their own government push. Appoint a Saraki and FBI push as a Fulani man. And they are in your own community. They are not loyal to your Eze or Igbo. They are loyal to their own Saraki. If you go to the garrison where they kill a cow, the person who collects the goods for the slaughter of the cow is the king, Fulani king, in that very market. Why there's a king in that community? Those who understand the establishment of territories in the northern Nigeria up to today will understand what we're talking about. That Fulani communities are still being established till tomorrow in the northern Nigeria, in the middle belt, in Benue, in Nasarawa, in Taraba, in Plateau. They're still establishing communities, and that's exactly what they want to do in the south.
They're already doing that.
They want to have their own government within Nigeria. They don't community. Hausas are revolting against the Fulani that have ruled them for 200 years in the north. The Canaries are revolting in Boronu. And that's one of the core causes of the Boko Haram crisis in the north, in the northeast. We are yet to be told all the truth. Everybody is revolting. The Niger Deltans, the Ejo, the Shekiris, the Effiks, everybody wants self-determination. You can see the Yorubas are very organized about theirs. Normally, everybody thought it was only Biafra had been affected. Everybody's not been affected. So, what do? You have to come together and ask them what they want. Give them self-determination. Self-determination must not be sovereignty. These are two different things. And that's the mistake most people make. They believe that self-determination, okay, you don't want us to break away, fine. We can take it bit by bit. We can take it bit by bit. You want us to be Nigerian food, allow us to rule ourselves within Nigeria. There are many countries in the world today that, like in Britain, Britain said they don't want Nigeria to break. That they love us so, they love us more than we don't love ourselves. Fine, Britain, thank you very much. You love us. But you own territory. England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. They are all independent territories, governing themselves within the United Kingdom. They are not, they have a government of their own. They have self-determination within the United Kingdom. When we go for World Cup, doesn't Scotland come? Scotland, their team come. Scotland plays in the World Cup. Ireland plays in the World Cup. England plays in the World Cup.
As different countries.
As different countries. And they are still under the United Kingdom. Why can't Britain support us to get the same?
Okay, now let us have a little bit of
we have tried to run this country as a unitary government.
Yes.
Government.
That's the system Nigeria is running now.
A little bit of. And so we say we are running a federal republic when we are really a unitary system of government. You have oil in your backyard. Your governor, not even you, even your governor cannot even determine how that oil is harvested. Federal government does that. You have gold, federal government. Any mineral within your territory is federal government. Even your land.
The gold
is owned by government.
But the gold, excuse me, the gold in Zamfara is being mined by the state. While the oil in the south is being mined
those people in charge. Those people who are ruling Nigeria have now seen their own minerals, so they have decided to be mining it on their own. Why the one that is in the south, they should be mined
for Nigeria.
By federal government. That is what I'm telling you. For Zamfara state to mine the gold in their state tells you that Zamfara is fighting for self-determination. Is it not true? They also want to be on their own. They don't want federal government to control their own.
But the federal government allowed it. But
exactly because they are in power.
And that is exactly why this country must be negotiated, and that's why we are talking about devolution of power to the southeast. And
exactly why we went to the Senate committee and said devolution of power, give power to the regions.
Okay.
They determine how to rule themselves.
All right, we want to have
we have traditional laws. We have laws. We have the way we rule ourselves before the coming of the Britons. We have the way we rule ourselves before we got Nigeria, where we are forced to live together with others. The Igbos have the way they rule themselves. Biafrans have the way they rule themselves. Yorubas have the way they rule themselves. When you see those people going to fight, establishing, doing security in the southwest, under Sunday, what do they go with? They go with charms on their waist, I mean. Even though I will not carry charms myself, but that is their own traditional method. That's their own approach. In Yoruba land, the hunters are the ones that keep security. So they use hunters. In Borno State, those people that have assisted the army more than any other people, more than the army can assist itself, were the local hunters of Borno State. They have fought more to stop Boko Haram more than the Nigerian. Well, let me not insult Nigerian army by saying more than, but they have fought as much as the Nigerian army itself. Are incapacitated. They cannot protect their territory because the governor is not the chief security officer of the state, while he has no power to control any security. And some federal government officials so well, we're talking about army. Allow us to protect our territory. Give us our economy, let's run an economy. Prior to 1960, the end of the First Republic in the 60s, there were regional governments and they had control over the economy. Palm oil in the Biafra land, cocoa in the west, in Yoruba land, granite in the north, and they were making money. And they established so many wonderful things, built so many things in those days. There was cement here at the cement at Ebonyi State. Up to today, Nigeria is importing cement. Meanwhile, there is limestone in Ebonyi that cannot be revived. Because for us to mine the limestone, we need the permission of the federal government. Professor Bank Plc has established a power station in Niger State to give us power. So the industrial city of Aba, Africa's biggest industrial city. And what has happened? Professor Bank Plc needs federal government authority to distribute the power is generated. Federal government is stagnating the growth of the country by not allowing devolution of power. And if we don't do anything about it, the current agitations will continue. People are hungry. People are angry. In fact, as a matter of fact, those who you see are demonstrating are jobless. There is nobody that even has a place he sells granuts who will have time to start demonstrating on the road. When people demonstrate, like when we had the NSAS demonstration last year, NSAS demonstration was carried out by unemployed youths and students whose lecturers were on strike. To stop the current agitations. The country will collapse under our feet.
No, definitely.
And
the country is crashing already, comrade. Now, when
and the only people that can save it now is the citizens of Nigeria.
Now, saving Nigeria is rational. Now, people are now talking about saving the indigenous nationalities in Nigeria. Not necessarily Nigeria itself as a whole, because the way Nigeria is is heading towards a crash. Now, you talk about regional, and when you ask our people out there, when you are going to open up the lines very soon, and the people will make their contribution, you see 99% of the people will say we want outright out of Nigeria. But our people may not understand the process of getting to that point where you will now say you are totally severed from Nigeria as a country. You now have your own independent country and state that had nothing to do with Nigeria. It is a process that will get you there. Now, Zulu, with what you are doing with your group, what and how do you think Biafran people can get to that destination? Because that is where the problem is.
Self-determination is a legal and political ideology. The concepts are legal and political. And so you must follow it legally and politically. If you don't, you make a mistake, you maybe get it and lose it at the same time. And so we have decided to approach a struggle for Biafra using all legal and political approaches. You have to identify those who are interested in what you're doing. You have to identify those who are part of the system and who will be affected by your attempts, by your struggle, and try to cover up their interests. What we have done currently, for instance, we have tried to convince everyone that what we are doing is not about Igbos. And we know that there are people who don't like it. We know that there are people who don't want to see us. There are no lies about it. They want us to remain part of Nigeria so that we can use our energy to continue to keep the country going. They don't want us to have the freedom to build ourselves. So we have tried to identify all those who are affected. Now some of them have realized themselves. The Europeans have realized that in spite of the fact that it appears as if they were enjoying, they were not really enjoying anything. They were only living in illusion. They were only living in illusion. In reality, they had no power at all. The Southerners who thought the Igbos were their problem and realized that the Igbos are not their problem. That is the reason why, for the first time since after the Civil War, one South leader, one Ijaw leader, has taken up the struggle fully and joined the mainland, the mainstream, and that is Asare Dokubo. You can see what's happening in the Middle Belt. You can see what Autumn is going through in Benue State. So we have been able to identify, it's political. Identify your people that have similar interests with you. It's no longer the days where you say, if you vote now, you will lose. But if you vote, you will not. Because majority. But you must show your people the roadmap through which you want to get to the place you're going to. And that roadmap, it's what we have been able to draw up in more.
Okay, thank you
and
so
that
much.
roadmap is...
finalize, go on.
All right. That roadmap is, we have been able to draw it up. If you are going to have freedom, let's start with freedom within our own territory first. We need a government. If you give us self-determination within our territory, at least, is that not Biafra territory? We have a president, not a national president, this time, but a regional president within the territory of Biafra.
Are we losing you? Since we are losing him, sorry about that, but we hope he's going to come back again. We hope to have him right back again since we are losing him. And in case you are just joining us, this is a live interactive section with Comrade Zulu. Zulu is a Biafran working with the group Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria. And what we're talking about is, why are the southeastern governors afraid to mention Biafra? Why are the southeastern governors afraid to mention Biafra? So that's what we're talking about on tonight's Biafra discourse. We hope to have Zulu back again, and when he joins us, we'll have him answer some questions, because we are about to open up the lines. In case you're just joining, you can dial the number on the screen, +234-810-4545-533. You can as well drop your comments. We'll read it out while we proceed on this program. So when you call, we'll take your call, and we'll also be reading out some of the commentaries we have here already. All right, we have people. Boma P, your comment is quite off track from what we're talking about, but we appreciate you coming on board. We also have Iwuri Barnabas, and we have Ogene Orale Odeora. So calls are already flying in. We're going to quickly take the calls. Please be precise on the topic under discussion.
Hello. Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Please, can you increase your volume a little bit?
All right.
Okay, go ahead. Where are you calling us from?
My name is Michael Obiezue.
Michael, you're calling us from?
I'm calling from France.
You're calling us from France. All right, go ahead with your submission.
Okay. The reason why our governors are afraid of Biafrans, because Biafra is a spirit, and they are all evil. Biafra is against evil. That was why they are afraid of Biafrans. That's all I have to say.
Okay. So,
Right.
what do you think should be done?
You said?
What do you think should be done? Because these people who are evil, you consider evil, who are against the Biafran ideology, or who are afraid to associate on, your opinion, because we've been resounding this over and over on this platform.
I don't think that anybody who is against Biafra, I don't think that he will see Biafra. Those people that doesn't want to listen to Biafra, they are all equal. They are not Biafrans. That's what I mean. Okay. Biafra is a spirit. Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right. Do you have a question for our guests who have been here talking? You've been following what our guests have been saying.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
Our guests, I don't understand what it means. Hello.
The guests we have, okay, keep watching. You can ask your questions later on. Thank you for your submission.
Oh wait, thank you very much.
That's Michael, he just called, and it seems we are having our brother back again. Let's try and bring him back on. Hello? Yeah, hello. Comrade, we lost you a while. Hello, comrade. Can you hear me?
I think I have some issues there, and I'm back now.
All right. Okay, so now we are opening up the lines for people to ask questions regarding what we've said so far. And we still have our brother right here, Zulu Ofelue, Comrade Zulu Ofelue, narrating and answering the question, why are Igbo governors afraid to associate with the word Biafra? If you have been watching from the beginning, you will understand it because he said it in simple terms. Now, where we are today, the group is a member of Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria who believe in political and legal process to achieving Biafra ultimately. And that process will take the turn or the guise of restructuring Nigeria to a regional government where the Biafra people will have their own enclave, autonomous to the Nigerian state. And they will be able to fix in laws that will open up the opportunity for them to hold a referendum to decide whether or not they want to be part of the union called Nigeria, just like we have in the United Kingdom. So if you want to be part of this program, you can call through +234-810-4545-533 to make your submission. Okay, as we continue on this program, we'll be taking your calls from now, and we'll be deliberating on this issue. The topic of the discussion: why is it that the governors of the Southeast are afraid to mention Biafra? Now, comrade, we have seen people talking about bringing down the Constitution. What will you prefer? Is it to bring down the Constitution or to review the Constitution? Because people have it that reviewing something that is already faulty from the beginning do not make any sense. What do you think about it?
Well, it makes a lot of sense when people say that the Constitution is faulty from the beginning, but that Constitution has actually constituted a country called Nigeria, and that country is a sovereign nation under the United Nations, the international community, acceptable everywhere. That Constitution is already acceptable everywhere in the world, and that's what establishes Nigeria. Now, have you ever thought about a state of anarchy? A state where there is no governance. The moment you set the Constitution aside, what do you really have?
Okay.
You really have everything in the country from that moment becomes illegitimate.
Okay, hang on there.
Can we really handle the kind of state of anarchy?
Okay, hang on, comrade, before you proceed, we have a caller on the phone. Let us quickly take the call. Hello, the caller on the phone.
Okay.
Hello, can you speak up?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but it's a little bit fainty. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling. I'm Chukwuerika calling from UK.
Sorry, we can barely hear you.
All right, can you hear me properly now?
Okay, speak, continue.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I always listen to your program and everything. I do appreciate your effort and everything. But when it comes to political solution in Nigeria and the issue of going through the political process and why the governors are not in support of IPOD. One, talking about political process, watching Nigeria politics and how it goes and how deadly these politicians can be in dealing with opposition, especially the Fulani minority who have taken over the whole of Nigeria. That they're in control of the army, which is a rigging machine for them. All right. Now, talking about political process, how do you think, if you have, I'm sure you watch and analyze Nigeria politics all the time, so how do you think that Fulani will allow you to restructure into regional level? They've told you it's not going to happen, and it will not happen. So why are we trying to do what we have tried, and they won't even listen to us? Nobody will allow you to restructure Nigeria into regional level. So regional level is now saying that you're going to control your oil. Nobody will allow you to do that. Fulani will not allow you to do that.
Okay, are you asking the question who will allow you to have regional government, or you asserting the fact that Nigeria can never be restructured into regional government? If Nigeria cannot be restructured into regional government, nobody can give you a regional government. How then do you think they can give you the independence or referendum people are asking for?
Yeah, the era people have. Hello.
Go ahead, please increase your volume because we can't hear you properly. We are struggling to hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Go on. We are trying.
Yeah. So if I get your question, because it seems it's frozen at a point. What I'm saying, can you repeat your question again because it's frozen? Let me just get the question. You said. Hello.
Yeah. He was asking if you are asking us a question or you are making an assertion.
The call was a bit frozen. Hello.
Yes. Go on.
I think the question he was asking you is if you are asking us a question, if the process we are trying to use, or you are certain that it cannot be done. So let's know exactly how we are responding.
You heard him. So tell us, if the federal government cannot, if Nigerian states cannot give you or cannot give itself regional government, like everybody is demanding for regional government, including even the governors, they have seen that Nigeria has come to a blink. Nigeria is on the edge. They have come to realize that there is no way out. Nigeria has now come to the point that it is either a regional government or it will eventually crash on their head. So, Zulu, what do you make of it? Okay, before we come to you, let's take another caller. Hang on, let's just take another call and get people's opinion. Hello?
Okay.
Hello. Yes.
Hello, go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is James. I'm calling from Spain.
Your name is what?
James, and I'm calling from Spain.
Okay, calling from Spain. James, go ahead.
Personally, I feel like the regional government is going to work out because if you look, for example, not being biased, I'm personally not an Igbo person, I'm from the south part of Nigeria. But when you see what they're doing in places like Lagos, where most of the shops and markets,
we can barely hear you. I don't know what's the problem. Can you speak up a little bit?
I said personally, I think the leaders right now are planning for the regional government because if you look, for example, what's happening in Lagos, there was also a phone call that leaked a couple of weeks ago of the former governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, saying that they plan on chasing the Igbos away from Lagos by burning down their own markets and chasing them away. So I think these are premises for them preparing for the regional government. I think this is something that, as much as they wouldn't want to, at some point, some things are greater than the politics of the nation. I think it's probably going to happen at some point, the regional government. So that's what I think.
Okay, so you believe that from regional government, the Biafra people can do, and other ethnic nationalities can
yes,
decide
and other ethnics can get, yes, they can, yes, that's what I believe. That's what I believe.
Okay, thank you. I think you've gotten your point. Now, why is it that the governors, do you think that the governors or the political class are afraid of Biafra agitation or participating or identifying with it because of the coronation of hostility, war, violence? Is it just a sheer wickedness by the political class?
I think, to be very honest,
by them believing they will benefit more from the impunity of Nigerian system than being part of the Biafran struggle.
That's definitely one of the various reasons why the Eastern governors. And secondly, you have to also, would I say, sympathize or understand where they are coming from. Because number one, they need the federal allocation, and they cannot come out publicly in support of Biafra when the federal allocation is mostly pushed down through the line. Let's use NDC as well, for example. NDC has the from the north, an Arewa community and an Arewa agency or an Oduduwa agency would not have a secretary that have such a position from the other region of the world. So you just have to understand that Nigeria, as we all call it, is a British colonial entrapment, and from everything that we've seen so far, I don't think there's anything we can do about it other than the regional government, and let us determine for ourselves what we want, because this federal and the adaptation of the American system of government is not working for us. To be very, very honest, it's not working for us. It's not working for us. That's what I think.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we just lost our brother back again, but we believe we're going to get him right back to join us in this very conversation. We are talking about why the Igbo governors are afraid to identify with the Biafra agitation. Why are they afraid of Biafra? So, Comrade Ofelu had said it, and I believe what he said is on point. And as well, we're looking at it from different angles as we proceed. Understanding the dynamics of the Biafra struggle and the eventual bus stop. The last bus stop is self-determination for the Biafra people to decide for themselves whether or not they want to be part of this union. And we still have our brother Zulu Ofelue. He's joining us via Zoom. We hope he is right there. I think we have him back again. So, comrade, tell us.
Yes. Yes, I'm with you.
All right. So, we have someone who just talked about the process. He believed that the process is right. That's having regional government, then from there decide for yourself. Because that is the only point where you can add referendum. Because if you're expecting Nigeria to give you referendum as it is now, it is impossible. People who want to come and grab your land, you're asking them to give you self-determination at all costs. So it doesn't make sense.
As a matter of fact, most Nigerians don't even know that the British government itself still has a first, will I say, superlative interest in Nigeria. The Britain still decides, and the Britain itself has said, even up to this time, Britain is not interested in the separation of Nigeria. And when you play politics, because when you talk about politics, like the person that spoke earlier,
He spoke against Nigerian politics. What we don't really realize is when we talk about politics, people start thinking about voting and election. Election is only part of politics. It is not politics itself. Politics is a game of maneuvering to gain power. You can use what your enemy, what your opponent needs to get what you want. You negotiate power. You play it. Britain has interest in Nigeria. They have not withdrawn their interest. Shouting around and quarreling with them will not affect that interest. Fulani has interest. Igbo has interest. We all have interest in this country. So when we talk about playing politics, we're not just talking about the issue of, okay, for instance, we have played the politics whereby some persons, like I said earlier, the agitation has become a national agitation. Is that not politics?
Of course. Everybody's demanding for it. And in fact, it makes it
exactly when it started, it was only Biafrans.
Yes.
What is it was only Biafrans. We have spoken to the extent that others have started listening. And they started agitating also. That is politics. So when we talk about politics, it's not just that we should expect that it's only when we go to vote. First of all, when you want to vote, and thank God that the first one of those who called in, say he called in from Spain. That's Catalonians. They have a president. They have a parliament. They control 97% or 98% of their own parliament, the agitators, those who believe in self-determination. They control 97% of their own, of the parliamentary votes in their own territory. And so they are sure that anytime you call up a Catalonian leader and ask him his opinion in regards to the independence of Catalonia, he will speak in positive 97 times against 3. That is politics. Not a situation whereby you call those, you say, Igbo leaders. You have not played enough politics to make sure that those elected among Igbo leaders are your leaders.
Or even
because whenever you talk about this negotiation and this,
or even have Biafran enthusiasts, the real Biafran who are agitating, people who are agitating, being the governors. You can
being the governors themselves.
Just like you have Autumn fighting from the front.
Exactly.
And our people.
Why won't you? When you allow, when they go hold the elections, you say no, I won't play the politics. Let me allow them because they will kill me. Now what are they doing? Are they not killing you? What are they doing in the world? Are they pampering us? All those things we are doing, can't we use it and win the election? And make sure that let's not talk about controlling Nigeria. Let's control our Biafra land, our territory. Why can't we have the governor in all the states who believe in Biafra, so that they can stand up like Autumn?
In fact, when I saw this thing, this
House of Assembly.
When I saw the directive given by all those state governments, I was shocked. I never knew that it has gotten to that level. And I became ashamed of myself about the people we call governors in the southeast.
Of course.
Giving directives that all
if you live in there,
be reciting Oduduwa anthem.
Let me tell you, let me also mention something else to us now. Because when we talk about this self-determination and sovereignty...
Before you continue, Comrade, let's take off.
Okay.
Because as customary, we take their call because we want to have your opinion. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Hello? Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Chuka calling.
Go on.
Yeah, I called earlier, but the thing is it won't cut off. There are few things. I don't know. We've all been in politics and politics of Nigeria, and once people trying to compare, I know that in politics there's needs for comparison. But sometimes when you try to compare politics in other countries and try to make it 100%, I think that thing for me that's not the way to go. Talking about coming out to contest in Nigeria, I was in Nigeria in 2003. We know what we pushed, and the P2B won the election. But automatically, what happened? That election was given to Ngige. it was just the crisis that happened in PDP that made them to decide out of their interest to give it to be the mandate, not because of people wanted it. That is Nigeria politics. When you're talking about let people come out, what happened in Imo State? Somebody that came forth just because he would protect the interest of this man called the Fulani, who had head bent to destroy the Igbos. They picked him from the back. And what is happening in Imo State today? They are killing their people. How did this IPOB stuff turn to a violent state? These guys have come out in democratic settings to protest, and most of them are killed and dumped in the river. All the time they are being killed. All right, so they've gone through the political process and struggle, but still these guys are being killed. Let me tell you, no amount of election you will do, it will change anything. All right, these people are out to make sure that they take over our land. And even if you resist them, they will take it. Even if you don't resist, if you resist them, you slow them down. But what I'm saying in a practice is, no political process will come if these guys see that we are soft, which we have tried everything we can do to make sure that we do this thing the political way of, because when you're talking about politics, you can do it through violence. You can do it, first of all, it was F. Kennedy that says, those that makes peaceful revolution impossible, they make the violent revolution impossible. So at the end of the day, there's no way you can tell me I will not support any election, because I know what happened in Imo State. People came out and voted in mass. What happened? Somebody that turned fourth, turned first, and nobody did anything. If you come out to protest, they will kill you. Nobody will come out to kill you in any Western world for coming out to protest. So if you try to compare those two scenarios, it's totally impossible. Those people will not give you regional government to control your resources. The main problem why they don't want that Biafra to go is because of that resources. So if you're talking about regional government, the only way they will give you that regional government is as they say, if you're gonna do it on state level. And that state level, they are talking about reviving the local government. Why do you revive the local government? Because they want to still be in control of the resources. That's the kind of restructure they want. If they can give you the proper restructure that you want, then they will quickly let you go. Nobody will give you, Fulani will not give you restructure. So, I mean, they will never give you any restructure to take control of your resources and do the original structure that we want. It will never happen, and they will never give it to us. So, in essence, is this. What we are doing now is bringing people. Okay, that's it. That's my submission anyway.
Yes, hang on. Let me just ask you one or two questions. From what you just said now, you made a reference to that of Imo State. Do you think that Biafran people came out to participate in that election genuinely?
Yes, they do came out because there was a vote.
How many people do you think participated in that election generally? How many votes? How many votes did Ozodimma claim he has that gave him that opportunity to overturn the election? And even the man called Emeki Hedioha, how many Biafran people supported him and came out to vote for him in that election? And Emeki Hedioha, does he represent the Biafran people in the first instance in that election?
Yes. We're not talking about we're not talking about representing Nigeria Biafran interest. In every democratic setting, how many people come out to vote? In every democratic setting, even in UK, even in America, the percentage of people that register, people that come to vote, is the same thing that happens in Nigeria. So when the few that have come out to vote have voted for this person, and you decided because you have the top people who doesn't like this person, and because because at the end of the day, they want this, they want another person, they want both of them. So at the end of the day, they make him the president. So no matter how many you come out to vote, it doesn't matter. In democracy, not everybody comes out to vote. It's across the board.
Now, if it is
Alright,
across
so-
board, if it is across the global
It's not across board, yes,
culture,
yes.
that people doesn't
Yes.
normally come out to vote. Now,
Yeah.
Biafran people sees a lacuna, and 99% of Biafran people, for instance, in Imo State, if you talk about their number, their numerical strength, it is above
Yeah.
above 4 to 5 million persons. That if you say come out,
Yeah.
if you say you want Biafra, more than 4 million persons will come out. Do you think if that number comes out and says we want a Biafran to be the governor of Imo State, do you think that somebody can win that kind of election?
When you're talking about coming out,
No,
in
no.
millions.
What we are talking about is not election. What I always preach is
Yeah.
revolution. It is not just any kind of election.
Yes,
I'm
when
talking about
you are talking about revolution, you cannot force people into revolution. You know why? Because there are many people that don't want to die. Before you before you go for a revolution in Nigeria, yeah, you must be ready to die. I'm telling you that.
Between the people that died during election in Imo State and the people that are dying now in Imo State, what do you think in terms of comparison?
And listen, when it comes to election, people are not ready to die for the election because they don't believe in the system. Listen, I've been in youth leader.
Can I add something?
Yeah, we are there guarding during Obasanjo, guarding electoral box, and the result was announced. That is Nigeria for you.
Okay,
If you
now,
come out,
Can I add something if you will allow me?
Okay. Listen, this guy.
Let's have, hang on, let's have Zulu make a comment before we let you go and allow other callers to come. Your narrative
Okay.
is quite interesting and I like it. All right, Zulu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say?
Let's realize some certain things. I will start with the Nigerian constitution that we've spoken about before, and we said it was faulty. That same constitution that we spoke about that was faulty provided for the establishment of a customary government in the southern Nigeria and a Sharia government in the northern Nigeria. In the year 2001, governors of 7 states of northern Nigeria capitalized on that same Sharia, on that same faulty constitution, and established Sharia governments in 7 states of northern Nigeria. But governors of the southern Nigeria never found it necessary to capitalize on the same constitution to establish customary government for their people. So who was it? Fulani that also caused that one? Was it not done by our own people? When the election was done in Anambra State and there was rigging, how many Fulanis contested the election? How many Fulanis came to rig? Who are the people that rigged? Were they Fulanis? We must understand this kind of issue of politics. And mind you, at that time, when Ngige was installed, mind you, the person that was in power was not a Fulani. The person that was in power at that time was Olusegun Obasanjo, a Yoruba man, as president. So the problem we Igbos have most of the time is that the time we should spend to negotiate politics, politics is a game. It's played everywhere. United States of America is played there, and it's rough everywhere. There's no place in the world where politics is clean. When somebody said the politics is a dirty game, he wasn't talking about Nigerian politics. He was talking about politics generally. The people that rig election here, what will you do to them? You think when we get Biafra, we'll go and put politicians, foreigners who don't, are they not the same people, the same Biafrans that will play the politics of Biafra land? Are they not the ones playing it and rigging election now, right now? Sometimes we make fantastic statements that somebody else is dealing with us. We have in the Constitution of Nigeria 3 different lists of sectors that can be tackled by federal. What we have what we call exclusive list. sectors that are reserved only for federal government. We have the other one we call concurrent list, sectors that are handled by federal and state governments. We have sector called residual list, handled by only the states. Yes, federal government is not doing well in their concurrent list. Let's say federal government is handled by Europe, by Fulani. Concurrent list, federal government said removed history from our curriculum. We started shouting. Did they remove the history in the Enugu State curriculum? Did they remove history in the Abia State curriculum? Did they remove history in Imo State curriculum? Those states have the power to add anything they wanted in their own curriculum. Would the Fulani order them not to leave it in their own curriculum? We must be interested in our own internal politics. Nobody participates in our internal politics. Right now, there's no Fulani man contesting the election in anywhere in Igbo. There are even Igbos contesting the election in Lagos. There are Igbos vying for elections in Kaduna and Kano. But there is no non-Igbo contesting, even in the last 20 years, no non-Igbo has contested election in Southeast. That's what we are talking about. Making sure that those who handle the politics down here are the people that we need as that same force we are using to demonstrate, kill ourselves, to do revolution. We can use it to take over our territory. What is our anger? The whole post of them man was not elected by the people. I agree with you. That is a Supreme Court governor. That's what everybody calls him. Didn't we tell our people not to vote in the last election? Did we vote? Didn't we say we are calling off the election? The election should not be, Biafra should not vote in the election. And then when the few who went to vote voted, we now started shouting that people's choice. Which people? The same people that say they are not going to vote in the election. We must be interested in our politics. We can't be calling it. Even if we get Biafra, we must have politics. Biafra will not be a dictatorship. It will be a democracy. And in democracy, there will be voting. And people that will vote will be the same people who have been voting, who have been rigging. Let's put it straight. They will not suddenly become saints. All those people whom you give money in the village and they queue up, you give them a bag of rice and give them money. They will not die. They will still be there to collect the money.
We have to be. If we fail to address this issue now, tomorrow is the result of what you are talking about. Because the same crop of never do well political class goes in as governors and politicians in Igbo land. We go and occupy position of authority. All right, let us take this call.
Please, moderator. Let me just keep this in.
Let's take this call.
Fulani is 15%. Igbo is over 35% Nigerian population. Politics is a game of number. Why is it that the one who is 15% is defeating the one that is 35%? Because we don't play politics.
And the politics we are talking about is the politics in our homeland. We're beginning with our homeland. Now, and that's why it now boils down on the topic of under discussion. This is still Biafra discourse. Why are Igbo government of Biafra? And that is what we're talking about. How did they ascend to the throne? How did they ascend to office of governorship, or senate, or house of rep members, or state assemblies, and the rest of them? How did they get there? They are not brought there by the people because the people are not interested. So they rule themselves by themselves and remain loyal to the system that
them go to
them
themselves. Why we who have population?
If that doesn't make sense to you, I don't think anything will make sense to you. The primary reason why they don't
be proactive state as governor.
Let's take this call quickly, comrade. Let's quickly take this call while we proceed and heading towards the end of this. Hello.
Hello.
Your name and where you're calling from, very quickly and very briefly.
I don't know how quick I am. It's a very quick one. When somebody's saying I'm talking about the politics of number and how many people are there, the governors and everything. Politics is game of number, and politics according to him again is for Nigeria politics is a very serious business. And that serious business that is being done in Nigeria, they will not, I will never allow that game of number to manifest in real sense. So instead of they'll have to manipulate the number. Zulu, Congress, I do understand his side of the argument, but as far as that politics is concerned, Fulani is 15 who got the in Nigeria. Have you got the military? Have you got the police? Who is in charge of that police? That is people that did the election. Election in Nigeria, I've been in Nigeria in election in Nigeria. Election in Nigeria is the military is in for there, the army is in for there. Who are they supporting? That is people that will the number. The only time that the number counts in Nigeria politics is when it's written down. It's not based on number of people that vote. That is why when you're talking about when Biafra comes, definitely even the killing that is going on in Nigeria is also politics.
What? Okay, hang on, brother. The people that you're talking about are just regular voters. We are talking about political revolution based on Biafran ideology. Have we ever attempted that?
Political revolution goes on with first of all, people have to trust that system first. The electoral system in Nigeria is not trusted, and people have seen it's not trusted because they come out in thousands to vote on many occasions. Their parents, nobody listens to them. So when eventually Biafran comes through the people, once they trust the system, people will come out to vote.
And
that's how you work.
You know what they have done? The politicians have succeeded in breaking the soul of society. Society has passed to a vote of no confidence on the process. And the politicians, that is exactly what they have been working at.
Yes, that is. They've achieved that. That is why the only system is revolution. And this revolution is not the one that you come and call a placard, because that level has passed. If you carry the placard, they will kill you.
What kind of revolution do you subscribe to?
Oh, we've done the placard revolution. I thought it doesn't work.
We're not talking about revolution of protest. We are talking about political revolution where millions of people who believe in a particular ideology come out to participate in that process.
Nobody, those people will not come out to vote because they know their vote doesn't count.
How will their vote not count?
Because they have not been there before. Has been there before. It doesn't work. Well, you do that, doing it will not work. So that politics now has gone a different level.
Okay,
and that is the politics.
Let us take this one by one and let us address this. Let me ask you just one or two questions.
Okay.
What state are you from?
I'm from Anambra State.
Good. You are from Anambra State and you are a Biafran. And you come out today. You come out today and we have more than 5 million Biafrans in Anambra State alone. Standing behind you and saying that you will be our governor because you are a Biafran. And they are ready because you are already in the process, because you already have a platform. Because first of all, you have a platform, then the Biafran people will say, this is our governor today. And 5 million Biafrans stand behind you to come out to vote in that election. I ask you, do you think that election can be won?
Yes, for sure. For sure. So they will just change it. If they don't change it, they will go to Supreme Court and get it.
Sorry?
And if you come out to protest to divide,
We are not talking about protest. We are talking about the election. Do you think that that election can be rigged?
yeah, it can be rigged.
How?
I've told you, listen, I've told you, when you're talking about a CTV's election, yeah, everybody protested. If you're telling, no matter how much you give all these women, tell them go here, they will take profit. What happened? We were there protesting the box, and the election was called. So it just took the division in between them. So what I'm saying, even if they rig the election and you come out to vote, they will kill you. So
Are
people
they
don't want
not
to die.
still killing our people till today? The killing is no longer an issue. Whether you come out to vote or you didn't come out to vote,
Yes. They now, it depends on how people.
Are we not being killed so currently?
People want to take down. because they've tried the peaceful protest. We are killing them. So that peaceful protest is not working. So if they decide to go into arms, it's still part of the politics.
Okay,
If we try to be elected, we will be killed. If we don't try to be elected, we will be killed. So why don't we try to be elected?
Now, you know, that boils down on why we are asking the question. Why are the government? Because everybody will throw a tantrum on them.
Okay, if you listen, I will tell you why. Because why the governors? Why? Yeah, the governors at the end of the day, these people you call your governors, you never voted them in.
That is what we are talking about.
You voted in.
That's what we are talking about.
They are governors. Whether you call them or not.
Yeah, that's what you are talking about because you never voted them in.
That's what we are saying.
Even if you come out to vote, yeah, you come. I'm still trying to link the two. When you come out to vote them, you voted against them. Yeah, and they rig themselves with their masters in there. All right. So trying to bring people's revolution, they will never support it. When the people's revolution comes,
you see.
When the people's revolution.
You see, thank you for your submission. We'll allow other people to call in, but you are standing.
Okay, no problem, you are right, no problem.
Thank you so much. Now, that is where the real problem is. Our people, we don't want to die. We want to go to heaven while we are alive, right here. And we are not going to heaven, and we are not even alive here. That is our situation now. Now, what am I talking about? Our people, we will blame the governors. They are the saboteurs for our agitation. They are the ones killing us. And yet, our people, we are not interested to get rid of them through the political process. Okay? Because we are talking about in a way where we can get the kind of people we admire from other places. We admire Western governors. We admire the governor of Benue State doing the needful by participating.
Hello?
By being part of what they are doing. Okay?
Hello?
So, hello, hang on. I'll come back to you. Just hang on, the caller on the WhatsApp. Now, when we are talking about our people, our governors, they have refused to participate in the Biafra agitation. And our people have refused to reject them because those they use to rig themselves in are Biafrans in Biafran land. So that is the problem. So, my brother, what do you have to say? We're talking about why are the governors afraid to participate or associate with anything called Biafra? Why we see the people from the West and other places affiliating with their people agitating for self-determination. Go ahead, we are asking you the caller on phone.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to say some. I just want to commend you people on what you people are doing, and like what the comrade just said, that the British is still having a hand in Nigeria is very, very true. If you, because I listened to your conversation with the last caller when you asked him about Ihedioha in the Imo State. Let me just say something. Let me ask you one question. Were you there on the ground and see, or see whether people turned out or people didn't turn out on that election in the Imo State?
We are
that is
ground,
my question. And I believe you are not there. Huh?
We were on ground, my brother. We were fully on ground.
Hello? Oh, so if you're really on ground, then who did you think won the election? If you think or you're thinking that the rightful owner of that election today is Hokozodema. Now, let me ask you another one question. If people turn out to and at the end of the day, they still protest it was gone. Still, come out to it is only what they receive is just, and you people are telling us we should come out to
you are stating the obvious. the ones setting our standard. What we are talking about is the Biafran people. We are not talking about the one Nigerianese.
Let me say something. Can I say something?
Just say it in a jiffy so
can I say something?
The last caller for tonight.
I love the courage of the comrades. Yes, I love the courage of the comrades to acknowledge that he is a Biafran. I love it. In the presence of the Eastern governors. Now, listen, there is some certain things that happens which we don't even know. I have asked many people this question. Why is it that these people don't want to say they are Biafrans in public? Is it because the money they have eaten, or is it because they are Stooges to this Fulani? Or is there any part of the British, the British High Commission in Nigeria that is threatening them? Remember, this restructuring we are talking about is what led to Nigeria's civil war. It was about restructuring that Odubu and Gowon went to Aburi to discuss and have a kind of hopeful discussion where at the end of the day they talked to it and they agreed on what the outcome of Aburi. Why didn't Gowon implement it? Why? What happened? Why was it twisted? That man is still alive today. You should tell us what really happened. Why he had to twist what happened before the Civil War. So there's a lot of things we have to say.
Okay.
And like you rightly said, hello?
Go on.
Hello?
Yes, go on.
Are you there? So, why, like I said, why did that Aburi meeting have to be twisted in Nigeria? Why? That man is still alive today. So any Biafran, Biafran should be asking why? What was the outcome of Aburi in Ghana?
And that is
why Nigeria is still in this mess tomorrow and they cannot work again. It can never work. It has never worked and it can never work.
Thank you. That is exactly what Zulu is presenting in the process that we get back on the track of Aburi. Don't forget that the Aburi Accord is all about having regional autonomy.
Yes.
Having their regional autonomy.
Yes. Let I give him
Hello?
I know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. And that will be the last caller for tonight. And comrade, can you make your last commentary before we say good night? It has been a long one. Are you there with me, comrade?
All right. I appreciate the deep concern of most Biafrans.
And of course, I appreciate also the disenchantment with regards to politics as applies to Nigeria. But we are not talking about Nigerian politics, like I said earlier. We are talking about how to govern our own land. Even if we become a sovereign nation, we must also govern our land. We must select people that will be in charge. And we must learn how to play that politics. We are traders. Even most people acknowledge the fact that Biafrans are not really politicians. We don't really know how to handle power. And that's what we need to do. We 15% of Nigerian population can control the whole Nigeria. And then Yoruba and Igbo and Hausa that control a greater percentage are out there complaining and grumbling that 15% is in charge. That means there is something that 15% is doing that we need to learn how to do. So, and that's the reason why we have decided to confront them and play it along and be able to control our territory. We are not trying to control anybody's territory. We're not going to control anybody. We want to first of all be in charge of ours so that we know that Biafrans are in leadership of Biafra land. Before we can talk about going
one
beyond our
question
land.
before you go, one question. Do you need courage?
Yes.
Do you need to summon special courage to identify yourself in the presence of all the governors there, the senators there, all of them, or the DSS and the rest of them? Do you require courage to identify yourself as a Biafran?
There is no courage required. I am a Biafran. Who say it in anybody's presence? Eh? That's identity. It's my identity.
And
So why do I
not committing
need
any
to
crime?
prepare specially to say it in anybody?
And people are still wondering, how is it that this boy is still doing what he's doing right here?
How can it be a crime to be a person?
And yet they have not come to kill him.
How can it be a crime to say what you are? From Oka, and you say I am from Oka. How can it not be a crime? If you're from Umuahia, you say I'm from Umuahia. How can that be a crime? If I'm a Biafran, I say I can Biafra. If they don't think so, they should ask me who is. Everybody knows what is Biafra. I'm representing those who fought a war in 1967 to 1970. My fathers that fought the war. I represent their interest. Did you kill my father? They didn't kill my father. They didn't kill me. If we are all, like I said in the beginning, if we are all exterminated, then there will be no Biafra. But as long as you left some people alive, we are still in existence. They ask me who I am. I say I'm a Biafran. There's no sovereign nation called Biafra. But there are people called Biafrans. One day we'll get a sovereign nation. What we are fighting for, what we want to take a first step is, let's have self-determination within our territory. Determine our politics. Let's determine our development. Let's determine the pace at which we grow.
All right.
I don't need any special courage.
All right. Thank you so much for having a time with us. We believe we are going to
Can
have
say it
time
anyway.
maybe anytime soon. Thank you so much for giving us your time. It's over an hour, 30 minutes. And
Thank you very much.
topic, and I appreciate those of you who have been watching. We're very sorry about the technical default we had today. It's part of those things. We keep pushing until we get better and the best. Thank you for watching. Please share this video. If you have not subscribed, please click on the subscription button. Follow us on all social media platforms. We continue to bring you enlightening program that will equip your mind with the right information. So stick with BVI Channel 1, the voice of the people, the voice of God, and the voice of our ancestors. Stay blessed and stay safe as we approach our 30th May, which is sacrosanct. And perhaps if Zulu is available and some other Biafrans, we will be bringing them on board and allowing Biafran people to pay tribute to our fallen heroes. Thank you so much for watching this far. And to you, Zulu, we appreciate you for coming and being part of today's program. Thank you, and that's where we'll be cutting off for today's live interaction section. May God bless you, and may God keep you all safe. Bye-bye.